looking at the final box, it seems some of the biggest disparities were in rebounding and points in the paint, favoring Princeton. What did you feel you saw during the game in those areas that were not working for your team?
Well, I think their size definitely gave us some problems. Especially, with the trio of Parker and Fadima and Tabby. They just really gave us problems inside. Their size gave us problems, and we just weren't really able to figure that out.
Your thoughts just on kind of the rotation you had on trying different, team together?
Yeah, I was trying different lineups to see, if we could find a group that could, keep them off the boards and be a little bit tougher, in the paint defensively. So just, trying to continue to get rotations to accomplish that. And so that was the search. The search was trying to find a combination that was going to work.
Coach, in the second quarter, the offense was severely struggling, and you called a timeout and immediately pulled in Kiyomi and exchanged some type of words. She was clearly struggling on the floor. What was those words? Or words of encouragement? Was it just kind of trying to keep her confidence up?
Well, you don't have to ever worry about keeping Kiyomi's confidence up. It was more just talking about what her looks were and, what she could look for while she's out there. And she was just fatigued at that point. So, but yeah, they did a good job of taking Destiny away. And, she's a dynamic player. And, she had to play in a crowd all night tonight. And, we just never quite could get into a rhythm offensively, especially in the half court, because they did a good job of taking Destiny out of the game.
In the third quarter, it seemed like coming out of halftime, the team had some more fight, had played better in that third quarter. Why was that? Like, what was different in the first half?
We talked about some things that we could do better at halftime. I think they just had a little bit more energy and focus about the adjustments that we were trying to make. And I thought that worked for a stretch. But then it came back to the two things: their size, and the rebounding and the points in the paint. That was really the theme throughout the game, is that we just never quite figured that out tonight.
Hey, Coach. Obviously, you mentioned Adams, a limited day for her today, but McMillan really stepped up. 27 points. Was really that lone scorer for Rutgers. What can you say about her today?
Well, Kiyomi's she's a fantastic offensive player. And she's really good at getting her own shot, creating space from her defender. We just needed to have more of a rhythm and a flow on offense. We've had that in the past, and we just didn't have it tonight.
That teams are going to, start taking away Destiny Adams. They're going to start doubling the post. What's the conversation like with your guards as opposed to combat that as the game goes on when they're doubling her with the ball movement?
Yeah, we got to get better ball movement, and we got to knock down some shots too. We got to move the ball out of the double team. We got to swing it, and we got to be confident that we can knock some of those down. Otherwise, people are just going to continue to try to take her away.
More so on Destiny, tonight she didn't get as many looks as she normally gets, and she didn't score crazy points. However, if you look at the stat sheet, she's scattered all over it. When you have a player that can affect the game without necessarily scoring, 20, 30 points, whatever the case is, how dangerous ultimately does that make your team and just as a weapon in general?
Well, it definitely makes us dangerous, but we gotta be better. We gotta find a way to help her be as productive as possible. So she does impact the game in a lot of ways. So we've got to support. We've got to give her a lot more support along that way when she does have nights like this, when they're focal points to take her away.
Do you have any updates on Antonia?
Antonia's day to day, so hopefully she'll be ready to play for our next game. Thank you.
Note, Coach.
Yeah.
Obviously, with Antonia not playing, that 36 points for Princeton in the paint looms large. Just how impactful was it not having her available on the court, especially with Princeton having that size advantage, as you said?
Yeah, Antonia's size, helps us defensively. So it, not having her out there was big. We went with Zakara to start to kind of have that same size out there, and so we'll just keep working to find a rotation that works. Thanks.